Imagine you were raised in a little town in the middle of nowhere, with mountains, rivers, natural beauty, and pure air. It sounds like a really good place to live. It was, and it is. But this town is in an developed country where the higher education is difficult to come by. It was a huge challenge to me because as a youth, I knew if I wanted to develop my professional skills, I needed to leave my town. So I faced the challenge and I traveled to Bogota City to look for new opportunities. I quickly discovered that I needed to be bilingual if I wanted to continue with my development. That challenge at first looked impossible. I was in academies and courses with the same result: frustration from not having a good learned English. If I wanted my dreams to become a reality, I needed a real solution, and I found it. The best way to learn English would be to live in a native English language country. With this revelation in front of me, the next question was, how will I do that? Hi, my name is Cesar Cardona Cardenas. Slide 2. I have used Scrum framework for 5 years. I lead 28 people and we work with Scrum framework at alcosto.com. I have reached goals in my personal life by applying the Scrum framework. Today, I would like to inform you how to apply a Scrum framework process in your personal life. Slide 3. First, I will tell you about what a Scrum framework and its elements are. Secondly, I will tell you about the roles and the meetings applied in a Scrum framework. Thirdly, I will tell you about how you can attain your goals through a Scrum framework. So, what are the Scrum framework and its elements? Slide 4. Around 1990, software development suffered the software crisis, as defined by geeks4geeks.org as if we use the same workforce, same methods, and same tools, after fast increasing in software demand, software complexity, and software challenges, then there arise some problems like software budget problem, software efficiency problem, software quality problem, software managing and delivering problem. Software developers consider this problem to be a crisis. Scrum Framework appeared as a new method to improve software results. Now, with this context of the software crisis, we can define Scrum from scrum.org. It is a framework in which people can address complex adaptive problems while productively and creatively delivering products of the highest possible value. Slide 5. Elements in a Scrum framework. The first element is prioritization. According to scrumstudy.com, prioritization can be defined as determining the order and separating what must be done now from what needs to be done later. The second element is refinement. This means to write out your ideas in requirements that each member of the team can understand and work with. So, after I learned the Scrum framework, I thought this is interesting. I will try to prioritize my personal projects by using the Scrum method. It was a great discovery. I had been wasting my time. After that, I refined my plan to travel to another country with questions like, what country, how much time? We have seen what the Scrum framework and its elements are. Now we will continue with the process. And we will see how to organize the ideas through the roles and meetings. Slide 6. We will talk about the product and roles. According to the Scrum Guide 2020, the product is a vehicle to deliver value. It has a clear boundary, known stakeholders, well-defined users or customers. A product could be a service, a physical product, or something more abstract. Then we have two roles, functional and technical. They define the product characteristics, the next step of the product, each variable of the product, and how you can build your product. It is important to understand that these roles are responsible for defining each variable in the building of the product's hardware and software. Now, we will talk about sprint meetings. According to Scrum.org, a sprint is a fixed length event of 1 month or less to create consistency. A new sprint starts immediately after the conclusion of the previous sprint. According to Scrum.org, the sprint planning initiates the sprint by laying out the work to be performed for the team. This resulting plan is created by the collaborative work of the entire Scrum team. Then, two results meetings, the sprint review and the sprint retrospective happen. According to scruminc.com, the sprint review takes place at the end of the sprint and is designed to gather actionable feedback on what the team has completed. The sprint retrospective meeting target is to tag inside the team and to recognize what things did they well and what things they need to improve. So, once I really understood what the Scrum framework is, I could apply the rules and meetings in my project. I had to read a lot in order to learn different concepts that I could apply to my project, and I needed time to prepare my strategy. With this new information about roles and meetings, I could work deeply in my project, and my thoughts start to take a good shape. From that moment on, it was a real project. Together, my intention and this new knowledge started to combine, and they pushed me forward to continue my project. Now, let's dive into how you can achieve your goals through a Scrum framework. Applying roles and planning meetings. Slide 7. I started with the functional and technical roles, and I had a product to build. My goal was to be bilingual. Moreover, I would learn in a native English language country. I would have to solve serious questions. For example, where will I go? How time will I be there? I took my time and finally got my answers. The US will be the place. I will stay there for 8 months. After that, I thought, what will be my English ability when my travel would start? I thought I would need a basic conversational level. Next, I used planning meetings for 3 topics. 1. Things I will need in the US, like a place to live and college. 2. How do I allow for 8 months to travel to study? These months will need to include a home office in the US, vacation, and days off. 3. I wanted to go with a basic conversational ability. What should I do to develop that ability? For each one of these topics, I applied the Scrum framework. Each sprint will be 1 month length, and I made a planning meeting with myself each month to make clear what the next step would be. Applying results meetings. Slide 8. After each sprint, I did my sprint review. I found out things like I hadn't dedicated enough time to study English. I didn't take time to research college and other necessities. After each sprint, I did my sprint retrospective. I found out I found out things like I was taking time to study, but in the end I wasn't learning English fast enough. So I needed to change my method. It was great to use the Scrum framework because I could correct my mistakes and stay on the path to my goal. In review, now you have an idea about how to apply the Scrum framework process in your personal life. Slide 8. Firstly, I talked about what is a Scrum framework and its elements. Secondly, I talked about the roles and meetings applied in a Scrum framework. Thirdly, I talked about how you can reach your goals through a Scrum framework. Slide 9. Now, I am in Bellingham living a great adventure in my journey to improve my English language skills. Thank you.